Do you really think that raising your prices will drive your customers away? Now, we're talking about a regular dry cleaner, okay? Full service dry cleaner. We're not talking about a discount dry cleaner, although I've had several discount cleaner clients and they've raised their prices and they did much better, okay? It's a lot more work to do that, but you just got to go into your software with your regular dry cleaner and change the number, okay? You can do that in a half an hour at most if you go straight across the board and depending upon what kind of software you have, okay? I'm going to recommend, I'm not going to tell you yet, okay? I'm not going to tell you yet. Let's move on a little further, okay? So most cleaners are leaving thousands of dollars on the table every year and don't realize how easy it is to really raise your prices. I've done this with hundreds of dry cleaners, and I'm going to talk about a couple of those today and what they did. And two of them, who I still stay in touch with, are huge, okay? Absolutely huge. One wants to keep his name private. The other one doesn't care, so I'll tell you about him. Okay, my name is Greg Colosi. I'm a dry cleaner just like you. I started in 1996 with a route only, okay? I did it out of my regular two-door sedan until I got enough customers. And I went out there. My first 300 customers I got by knocking on doors. And then I wanted to not work at nights and on weekends, so I came up with a system to automatically get route customers. Not going to talk about that on this call, but if you want some information on that, leave a comment down below, and I'll send you the information on that. Okay? Are you afraid to raise your prices because you'll think you'll lose your customers? Okay? That's a common thought. Today we're going to dive into why you're not charging enough for your services and how small price adjustments, or bigger ones, can transform your business, okay? Many cleaners think their customers choose them because their prices are low or right or just about right, not too high, let's say. And that philosophy that you have is only coming out of one place, okay? It's coming out of your head. Okay, and you're in the middle of it. It's your business. You think if I raise my prices by 10%, they're all going to leave me. Okay, they're all going to leave me. Well, I can tell you that's not true, and I'll tell you a couple of stories. It's never happened, okay? It's never happened. The only ones you lose are the price shoppers. Guy that brings in 3 shirts to get laundered every week, okay? And he's checking prices. You don't care if you lose him, okay? We're going to talk about some things in just a moment that'll identify what your top customers are. And I'm sure you know how to do it, okay? And we're going to talk about that right now. First one's called the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. If you go into your software, okay, and find out the top 20% of your customers, what percentage of your revenue do they generate? Okay, the top 20%. It might be 80%, it might be 70%, but it's going to be close to 80%. So what does that say? That says, let's make this easy, okay? You've got 10,000 customers. Let's make it easier. Let's say you've got 1,000 customers, okay? 200 of them are giving you 80% of your revenue. And let's to make it easy, you're doing $1 million a year, okay? They're giving you $800,000 worth of your revenue, or 80% of your revenue. And the other 80%, the lower 80%, is only giving you 20% of your revenue, or only $200,000. Who do you think you should be paying close attention to? That's right, the 20% that give you 80% of your revenue. Everything you do in your business should be geared towards those 20%, okay? Those 20% right there. Those are the ones that you should be focusing on. So every promotion you do, price raises. So you make a price raise, okay, you're going to raise your prices. You do not think about the bottom 80%. So what if you lose some of those? It's no big deal. You're thinking about the guy that's going to come in, okay, found out you raise your prices. And by the way, you don't announce it. Do grocery stores announce they're going to raise their prices? Does Amazon announce they're going to raise their prices? Does Google TV announce? Yes, I guess they do announce that. But nobody announces that, okay? You just do raise your prices, okay? And you're concerned with only who? The top 20% that give you 80% of your revenue. But first, I want you to go into your software and do that calculation so that you feel confident where all that's coming from. Let me share this with you. The top 20% of your customers that give you 80% of your revenue do not care. Let me repeat that. Do not care about your prices. That's way down on the list. They care about, are you doing what you say you're going to do? Do you pick up from their house and deliver it promptly like you say you're going to do? When they come into the store, you say you're going to get a stain out, and if you can't, you're going to let them know. Do you do that? Do you follow up with that? Okay. If you said you're going to be open at 7 a.m. and they get there at 7:05 and you're not, you don't keep your promises, okay? That's what they care about. The ones that are coming in for the discounts, and by the way, if you are discounting, I'd scrap it, okay? Maybe certain promotions to get in certain kinds of people or certain kinds of things during it, but overall, I'd get away from discounting whatsoever. And if you build your routes, which I'm going to suggest later on in some of these videos, route customers, no, you don't have to do any of that, okay? None of that. So let's say you are at a 10% profit right now, okay? You're at a 10% profit. Let's say you're doing $500,000 a year. So you're making $100,000 a year, 10%. Oh, no, I'm sorry, $50,000. Oof. So you got $500,000, you're making $50,000 after everything's going in your pocket. If you raise your prices by 10% and virtually nobody leaves you because they're not going to leave you, okay, this has happened to me hundreds of times. I've never ruined anybody's business by telling them to raise their prices by 10%. Now, you might not have the balls to do it 10%, but you better have the balls to do it 5%, okay? And if you really have no balls, go out at 2 or 3%. Or if you've done this recently, raise it accordingly, okay? But don't rely on your emotions to tell you how much you should raise your prices. It should be something that is done logically, okay? If you've never done it consistently, raise them 10% right now, and then after 3 months, 2.5%, another 3 months, 2.5%, and then into perpetuity. You don't have to think about it. It's done. Everything is going up, especially now, okay? You are probably way behind the ball. And if you're doing very well, you probably are not behind the ball. But I can tell you this. You can always raise your prices 10%. I don't care how long you've been doing it, okay? I don't care if you just made the raise yesterday. You can do it again. Now, if you raise your prices by 10%, your profit was only 10%, you're going to double your profit, okay? How many customers do you have to lose? Or how many customers do you think you're going to lose? Let me ask you that. Write that down in the comments, okay? What percentage of customers do you think you're going to lose if you raise your prices by 10%? Okay? Well, let me tell you this. You can lose 50% of your customer base, and most of those will be the bottom 80%, and you're still going to make more profit than the 50 you're making now because you're going to have less work to do. So you're probably going to go up to 60 or 70 grand. So it's a no-lose situation, okay? Plus, today, you are in the driver's seat. Everything's prices have gone sky high. It's about time your prices were raised. You know, they don't have many choices. You've survived, okay? You're still in business. They've got to travel long and far to get to another cleaner that is good as you, okay? So keep those ideas in mind. The cost of being the cheapest, okay? Low prices mean no loyalty, no room to invest in your staff, make your vans look beautiful to get you more customers, your lobby more beautiful. You got no money to do nothing, no money for customer service, and guess what happens to your business? Boom, you go down. You don't raise your prices, your business goes down, okay? You're always trying to save a nickel in doing something, and you're hurting your reputation and your business, okay? Okay, I'm going to share with you 2 examples, okay? One wants to keep private, probably because it's such a big number, okay? Let's just call him Dave, okay? Dave became a member in 2010. It was quite a while ago. Dave was doing $4 million in business. Dave's profit was 10%. So he's making 400 grand. You might be saying, geez, if I was making 400 grand, I wouldn't complain. I would like that, okay? Well, bigger house, bigger car, second family, it all adds up, okay? Taxes and all the other crap that goes along with it, it goes fast. So, over an hour on our first coaching call, I convinced him to raise his prices by 10%. I mean, I did everything. I threatened him. I said he was a wimp if he didn't. I mean, because he was hesitating, and I just beat him up. And I beat you guys up because I want you to follow through, because I know what happens when you raise your prices. Okay? Well, he raised his prices. So that's 400 grand, or around 35,000 a month extra, okay? At that level, 35 grand a month is a nice hit, okay? So I texted Dave a week later, lose any customers? He goes, maybe 1 or 2, and they were just the coupon clippers. Texted him 2 weeks later, nothing. A month later, nothing. No customers, okay? No customers left him that he knew of, okay? Now, that's the 80-20 rule. The 20% of your customers that give you 80% of your revenue don't give a damn about your pricing. That's way down on their list. Okay, do what you say you're going to do. Give me great customer service. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to think about it. And do you think they know when you raise their prices? Do you think they know this? Do you think you raise your prices from $4 to $4.99 on a laundered shirt? Do they know that? No, they don't. They might see the credit card statement and see a number and go, okay, I must have done a little bit more this month or a little less, as long as it's in the ballpark. That's how they take a look at their expenses. It's not the guy that walks in with 3 shirts and sees his bills as soon as it's done and says, oh my goodness, you went up $1 a shirt. That's not the guy you're doing it for, okay? That is not. And if you're running your business based on what that guy is going to say to you, we got a lot of work ahead of us, okay? You need more than this. You need more than me. You need maybe some business psychological business coach that works on your psyche, okay? But maybe I can convince you, okay? If you think it's willing, if you want to let me beat you up, I'll beat you up, okay? That's my job. My job is to beat the shit out of you so you take action and do what's good for you and your business. That's what I do. Well, I forgot to tell you, Dave couldn't even hire a part-time assistant. Back then it was like $10 an hour. Couldn't afford it. He didn't go on a vacation for the last 5 years. Okay? And after that, a year after that, he's teaching dry cleaners how to raise their prices. He's consulting with them. Good for you, Dave. Making a few more of us successful. Okay? The second one, Pat Collins and Collins Cleaners in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pat is a good old boy. And I sat down with Pat a couple of years ago. But first, Pat, he was back around 11 or 12. I see him on Facebook, and he's on vacation during the holidays, or maybe it was January, at some island doing something, right? And I said, have a great time. Looks like you're having a great time. Boom, 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 boom. He, on Facebook, messaged me back. He says, I'm here because of you. And I said, why because of me? And he said, we'll talk when I get back from vacation. So I called him up. He said I was either going to go out of business or raise my prices. I had to figure out a way, and the fastest way to get money in was to raise my prices. So I listened to one of your recordings about raising prices. He said, I listened to it 4 times. I needed to listen to you 4 times to get enough gumption to raise my prices by 10%. And it's been the best decision I've ever made. And that was 6 months prior to me talking to him, okay? And he, like a superstar, raised it, because I said, you know what, you ought to raise it another 10 right now. And he did, okay, because he knew the power. And then from now on till now, this is a long time, 2.5% every quarter. He is the highest priced dry cleaner in Charlotte and the biggest dry cleaner in Charlotte. His route went from $200,000 to $1.2 million, and he's got 5, 6, 7 retail stores also. So those are 2 really good examples of what raising your prices can do. Okay, I am going to give you and here it's called before I get into that, let's do this. Your goal should be to be the highest price dry cleaner in your town or city. If you're the highest priced dry cleaner, I'll bet dollars to donuts, you're also the highest quality dry cleaner in your city. And the reason is you have the money to fund the customer service, which just spins around and makes your business better and better and better and better. Okay, here's my challenge. Today, not tomorrow, but today. I don't care if it's a Saturday, a Sunday, whenever it is, raise your prices 10% across the board. And don't cherry pick anything. Don't pick the shirts, okay, which are sensitive to all of us dry cleaners. Just raise it 10%. If it's 502, it's 502, okay? Raise your prices by 10%, okay? And if you're a little bit of a chicken, do it by 5%. If you just did it yesterday, raise it by 5%. I want you to do something with this immediately. And then comment down below and let me know what you did. Or if you'd like to chat with me about it, what can we do? Do I have something there you can get a hold of me with? I think there is. No, there isn't. Just leave a comment you'd like to talk to me, and we'll figure it out. Okay? I'll talk to you about it. Okay, everybody, make it a great day. Go out and raise your prices. I was going to say please, but no, please. Please, you do it. okay? Raise those prices. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. Thank you.